Another spectacular night in Detroit. The sun's out as the Sox are on the road. Game number 2 against the Tigers after a high-scoring affair yesterday here at Comerica Park, 9-5 Detroit. Thanks for joining us once again. Jason Benetti, Tom Paciorek along with you. Last night, Daniel Palka had a great night, 3 hits. If the Sox are going to win today, maybe it's up to Tim Anderson duplicating what he did here earlier this year.
Well, Timmy had a great series at Comerica Park earlier in this year, Jason. That was Memorial Day weekend, and look at it. He had 2 home runs. He was hitting breaking balls, fastballs really hard. He didn't get any hits yesterday, but he still looks dangerous up at the plate. And you look at Daniel Palka, boy, look, there's a great job going the opposite way, getting himself an RBI single. He had 3 solid hits last night, and hopefully we'll be doing the polka when this game is over.
Or even during the game, frankly.
Sure, why
Get
not?
the accordion out. 9 for 18 against the Tigers this year with a home run. Tim with those 3 homers. And look, last night you talked about it. You said there's one guy in a lineup that typically you don't want to let beat you. It was Nicholas Castellanos, and all he had was 5 hits. So
Yeah.
the Sox did that very well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's his first time he's done that in his major league career. But what he did was hit every mistake that the Sox pitchers made. And that's what good hitters do. You see, there's a pretty good fastball right there, but it was right in his range, the high. And he just knocks it out of the ballpark. And then he had another clutch hit late in the ball game, which sealed the victory. You see, he's got 17 home runs, 64 RBIs, and he's the only guy in this lineup that you really fear. So those are pretty good numbers, and his average is approaching 300, which is almost like a dinosaur right now. Just nobody hitting 300 these days.
Well, the Sox and Tigers play game number 2 coming up. It's Lucas Giolito and Blaine Hardy on the mound, and we'll see what the Sox can do in game number 2 coming up from Comerica Park. After this, we'll tell you about the minor league players of the week coming from one of the Sox locations down on the farm. That's after this. 2, and we told you before the break, one Sox affiliate has swept the minor league awards in its league, and it's the Winston-Salem Dash. Somehow, for the first time this year, considering the season they've had, the Dash swept the awards. Luis Gonzalez 7 for 17 with a couple of home runs. Kyle Kubat, August 7th against Myrtle Beach. He's had a remarkable year in advanced A, 7 innings, 2 hits, and 5 strikeouts. So he joined the Dash rotation in mid-July. He's got a 1.93 ERA since doing it. It is GMC down on the farm. So Sox and Tigers coming up from Comerica Park. Sox try to level the series when we come back. A little bit hotter this evening in Detroit, maybe about 5 degrees warmer at game time today than it was yesterday, and the Sox are trying to even this series against the Detroit Tigers this lovely Tuesday in the Motor City, just off of your hometown, Tom Paciorek.
It's about 5 miles from here, the great city of Hamtramck. Great Polish restaurants if anybody is visiting the Detroit area. It's worth your time.
People turned on the Sox game tonight and said, I wonder where I can get good Polish food around where the Sox are playing tonight. And you have filled them up with information.
And it's
already.
real cheap, too, like I am.
The Tigers have taken the field, so we might as well give you the White Sox starting lineup for Ricky Renteria. And it goes like this. Anderson at the top against the left-hander Hardy, then Garcia and Abreu. Davidson in the 4th spot, his first start in about a week. Polka, Smith, Sanchez, Lamar, and Engel, the starting 9.
And let's take a look at Detroit's defense given by their skipper, Ron Gardner. You've got Gerber, Reyes, and Castellanos. Why doesn't he take a night off? In the outfield, Candelario, Iglesias, Goodrum, and Adduci are the infielders. James McCann, who had an excellent game last night, 3 hits behind the plate. Blaine Hardy, who's got a very respectable 4-4 record with a 3.6 earned run average on the hill for the Tigers. Not overpowering. Batting .246 against him. He's pitched 74 innings, struck out 54. He's got good control. And a look at his repertoire. He will throw a cut fastball, 35%, 4-seamer. At 33, a changeup and a curve. So the curveball, boy, I tell you, I don't know why more guys don't throw the curveball. I still think that's a tougher pitch to hit than the cutter or the slider. But what do I know about pitching? I couldn't hit it.
You spent, what, 18 years in the big leagues?
Something like that.
Here are the umpires who will have the jurisdiction for tonight. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate. Jansen Visconti over at first. Larry Vanover, the second base umpire. Chris Guccione had the plate last night. He's at third. And so Anderson, Garcia, and Abreu will bat against the left-hander Hardy as we are just about underway for baseball this beautiful Tuesday evening. First pitch is ball 1 to Anderson. Sox have seen Hardy twice, and it has been a mystery. Against him, 12 1/3, 2 earned runs. This is a good start. Down the line and left, Anderson trucking for extra bases. He will get to second, standing up, and the Sox have a leadoff double against Hardy.
Aren't you glad we had him on the open, Tim Anderson? He's kind of repeating that series, hopefully, that he had in May. There you see, there's that cutter down and in, and Timmy just drops the head of the bat, playing off the line. So they had no chance to make that play, and it's an easy double as Anderson's got that great speed. Now, let's see if the Sox can manufacture a run here. Get a ball over to the right side of the infield and let Abreu hit a fly ball. Get ahead 1-0.
Well, that's one thing the Sox did well last night. In that third inning, it was a double, a hit batter, then a bunt single from Sanchez, 2 sacrifice flies, and a Daniel Palka single through the left side of the infield. A machine-like third inning yesterday.
Yeah, it really was good. Ricky Renteria was commenting about that. You just need more innings like that. You get 1 or 2 innings like that every game, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
We asked Ricky what he thought of that inning, and the first thing he did, this is very managerial, he looked at the back of his lineup card. He makes little notes on the back of his card during the game to remind himself things about each game that he manages. A very thorough individual.
Oh, he really is. He's perfect for this team. Oh, Avi's got to choke up a little bit and try and hit something. Just make contact now. After 2 strikes, he's just trying to battle at this point in time to try and get that guy to third any way you can.
On the ground to third. Candelario across the diamond for the out. Anderson can't advance as Avi pulls it, and 1 gone for Abreu. If you're wondering why Yoan Moncada's not in the lineup, he is at stage 1 of a root canal. He had a dental appointment this afternoon, a tooth issue. So Yoan, this was a scheduled day off anyway, so he's out of the lineup and available to play if need be. He's already back from the dentist.
Yeah, root canals are really fun. Only had about 30 of them.
I was going to ask you, have you set the major league record for?
Got them. Well, I can take my teeth out right now and show you.
This is one of those moments where I'm really glad we don't have a camera in the booth that's
Thank
active.
Goodness.
Yeah. Thank you for the offer, though.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, let's get back to baseball. Abreu is the one guy that the Tigers aren't going to let beat them in this ball game. I would suspect they pitch around him and try and see what they can do against Matt Davidson.
2 balls, no strikes on Jose, and we've seen at points this year that Jose will expand his strike zone as he takes the load on to try to drive in runs. How he'll handle this situation is yet to be decided.
Yeah. Well, it's tough when you don't have a guy that's feared hitting in front of you and a guy that's feared hitting behind you.
Yeah, it's ball 3, and
yeah,
your pitch around hypothesis seems to be coming true.
Plus, it opens up the possibility of a double play to get out of the inning on 1 pitch. That's why, boys, you got to get those averages up. They'll start fearing you. He's swinging if he throws him a strike. What's a good night to hit? The ball was flying out of here in batting practice.
That's ball 4. Jose takes a 1-out walk. And Elvis night is Friday, August 17th at Guaranteed Rate Field. Join us in remembering the king of rock and roll as the Sox take on the Royals, 7:10 p.m. Stay for the postgame fireworks show presented by Rush University Medical Center. Visit WhiteSox.com to purchase your tickets today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tom Paciorek has left the building.
You remember those great commercials I did years ago?
With the Mariners.
No. I was the Elvis guy for the Sox for many a year.
Well, the great ones were the Mariners ones.
Well,
How long were you the Elvis guy?
Well, I think I did work for Elvis night at Sox. For the Sox, at least 2 or 3 years.
Well, there's a guy who's been coming for years and years and years and years and years doing the official Elvis.
Well, I know. I just did the promo.
Right. I'm sure you were fantastic based on that cover you just did.
Can't believe they didn't hire me to do the whole game.
1-0 on Davidson, getting the start against the left-hander. And he sails this ball out to center field. Reyes on the charge, still coming. He's not going to get there. He broke back, and Davidson will take it on a parachute to center field to load the bases.
Well, you got to have a little bit of luck in this game. He did. He got a horrible jump on this ball. Of course, center field here is huge. But Reyes, this ball is hit off the end of the bat. When a big guy swings the bat hard like that, the tendency is to go backwards, as Jason just said. And that's a ball that's got to be caught. That's a lot of hang time right there. And, you know, Tim Anderson's got to play it, get about 1/3 of the way. He did exactly right. There's no way he can go any farther than third base.
And Davidson, though he was frustrated, he was on his way to first. He never stopped getting there as Polka takes a first pitch strike.
Good opportunity. Daniel really swung the bat well last night with those 3 hits.
0-1. And now nothing in 2. Well, we showed you Sox are going to see a lot of cutters from Blaine Hardy in this game. His 4-seam fastball, though, opponents are hitting .306 against it, which is not a recipe for success.
Well, he threw an 87-mile-an-hour 4-seamer to Garcia a moment ago. That better be out of the strike zone. I think his get-out pitches can't be his fastball. It'd be the 4-seamer. It's got to be either the changeup or the cutter.
Yeah, he throws about quarter changeups, mostly to right-handers, of course, but this pitch fouled away. So you look at last year, this is a lot more in the cutter department from Hardy. The 4-seamers dropped off, the curveball even less this year too.
Yeah. Now, once again, the fastball is the best pitch in baseball, and the changeup to me is the second best pitch, and I think a lot of people will agree with that. See, Daniel matches up real good against Hardy because he doesn't have that overpowering fastball. When they get him out, it's usually inside with the heater.
You'd think you'd see some curveballs tonight. There's another one, and it's through the right side. A hit for Polka. Anderson scores. Abreu gets the stop at third. Daniel overran first. The ball ends up at the backstop. Crazy town on that throw, but the Sox do get a run and keep the bases loaded. 1-0.
Well, that was Looney Tunes right there on that relay. Boy, that's a good 2-strike hitting there by Daniel. Watch it. A lot of hang time. He got a curveball over the middle part of the plate. You see him loading up. Look at the head behind the ball. That's what you really want to see when you make contact. Beautiful job of hitting, and there's no way that guy from second can score because the ball got to the right field in a hurry. But look at the throw here. You can't anticipate that.
Yeah, he threw a couple of curveballs in the sequence. Daniel got a good look at it, and he flipped the last one into right field.
Well, it was down, but it was over the inner half of the plate.
Kevin pops it foul. Sox with 3 hits and a walk in this first inning as they ambush Blaine Hardy. Two starts this year against the Sox. He gave up 1 earned run in each, and that was it. Things have changed. In the air, center field. Reyes is back on it. Should get a run home. Abreu tags. He's on his way to the plate. Throw coming into second. And Daniel slams on the brakes. See if maybe Davidson can come home. Matt is on his way, and he scores. So the Sox get an extra run as Polka jammed on the brakes between first and second. And a nice base running job by Davidson to be aware of the situation. The Tigers were absolutely lost, and the Sox lead 3-0.
We got to examine that play when we come back.
Do we have an hour?
Oh my Lord.
My goodness. 3-0. Tigers lineup looks like this. It starts with Candelario at the top, then Iglesias and Castellanos, who we told you was 5 for 5 last night. Goodrum, Martinez, Adduci, then McCann, Gerber, and Reyes.
Ricky Renteria puts this defense out for the Sox. Lamar. Ryan is in left field, Adam Engel in center, and Garcia is in right. The infield of Davidson, Anderson, Sanchez, and Abreu, with the battery of Kevin Smith and Lucas Giolito. Lucas, he's a big one. Struggling on the year. He's got 7 wins, 9 losses, 6.23 earned run average. He's pitched 125 innings, 118 hits. And there's his pitching repertoire. 4-seamer, 48%, a slider, 16, changeup, 15, and a sinker, 12% of the time.
Also a curveball in there.
Yeah.
That'll be about 10% of the time from Lucas. So we welcome you back to Comerica Big Top after the top of the first inning and the wild and woolly defense of the home team.
Well, folks, if you like good baseball, if you like baseball, you're going to hate this replay we're going to show you.
You're asking people to brace themselves.
That's as bad as it gets right here.
Ball and a strike on Candelario. On the play, Kevin Smith gets 2 runs driven in for a sacrifice fly.
Wow. I mean, he did a great job hitting that ball deep to center field. It was definitely going to score a run and obviously move the runner from second to third.
Yeah, after the batter, we'll show you the replay. It would take way too long to get in between pitches, considering the scoring on the out finally was 8-6, 3-4-6 against Daniel Palka, who got caught in a rundown and helped one more run come across. 2-2.
That's a nice pitch right there. There's that sinking fastball.
3-2 from Lucas. Right side and through past Sanchez. Candelario with a leadoff single. And here is how the top of the first ended. It's a fly ball to center from Kevin Smith, and watch the base running.
Well, Danny Palka was probably going to be out on that throw from center field at second base, but he manages to get between. This is just a horrible job of rundown play. That guy from second base, the shortstop's got to run the ball, run him back to first base, one throw, and tag him out. They made about 3 or 4 unnecessary throws, and that's just really bad baseball.
Well, Goodrum caught the ball at second and just froze.
Yeah.
He looked at the plate, didn't do anything with it, and then fired the ball to Iglesias, who finally tracked him down. But by that time, the run was in.
No, rundowns have got to be done with a minimum amount of throws. 2 is the maximum. That run should have never scored, but we'll take it.
3-zip, first inning. Lucas has strike 1 to Iglesias, and here's another look at that play in the rundown. See, there's Goodrum, who figured, well, now he's going to score anyway.
Well, the first baseman had a chance to tag him out. Ducey had a chance to tag him out before the guy scored from third anyway. But he decided to throw it to the shortstop, who kind of botched it.
That's a balk, I think.
Well, well, I don't know if they called time. Oh, that's terrible.
Well, he started to come home. He said he called time. Now the plate umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, is going to say, I granted time, I think, and he's going to send it back to first. Yeah, time was called, and that's why Lucas stopped. Is it a full moon tonight? What do we got going on here?
It's unbelievable. Well, okay, there's in a stretch. Where does he give him time? Oh, he steps out. I didn't see him give him time. So you got to throw the pitch.
Yep.
Regardless.
Well, if the batter does something to step out of the batter's box to induce something like that, you can't give the balk either.
Well, probably not, but it's still.
But you still should pitch.
Got to throw the ball. Just lob it up there.
One and two. To right field down the line, and hooking fair into the corner it goes. Iglesias hustling to second, and a stop sign at third for Candelario. The Tigers are in business in this first inning.
Tell you what, the more you watch Jose Iglesias, the more you like him. That's a pretty good job of 2-strike hitting. It's a hanging slider. And watch him. He stays behind that ball very nicely. He lets his hands go before the barrel of the bat, which allows him to go the opposite way, hit a line drive, and get himself an extra base hit. Once again, hitting a mistake.
That's been the theme of the series so far, both ways.
Right.
And this guy is the one who did it all night last night.
First base is open.
You think about it?
I would.
Well, Ricky Renteria said jokingly to us in his office, he said, I could walk him every time it comes up.
This is a pretty good opportunity. I don't care if it's a first inning. This is that momentum inning. You got to shut the other team down after you scored. Nice changeup. Now you got to let him get himself out. There's no way you can throw him anything close to a strike.
He doesn't see a fastball until 3-2, does he?
I don't think he sees the fastball, period.
At all?
I would throw him a strike on any of these pitches. I'd let him get himself out or walk him. That was a good changeup right there, but fish weren't biting. Castellanos got that average up to 291. Puts him about third in the league, doesn't it?
First on the team.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt. See so many guys in that 220 range, and we're at the end of August.
Yeah, the offensive numbers have not grown as we expected during the season. There was a big spike in home runs early, and that's kind of leveled off.
You can't keep hitting the home runs. I don't care. You know, dropping that back shoulder, swinging hard in case you hit it. Pitchers are adjusting to that hitting philosophy.
Whatever the philosophy is, pitchers will adjust.
Yeah, they should.
You'll have to do something different.
Well, just like a hitter. Oh, good pitch.
That's into the glove for strike three, one down.
I told you got to pitch to him. Well, this is what. Well, it's not a strike though.
Fastball up out of the zone, and fortunately, Kevin Smith holds on. That's a pretty good swing, though, by Castellanos. He tipped it close to making solid contact.
But if you're going to get him out anywhere, it is up, in or out of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Because down, he's going to crush you.
He's nasty.
So 1 out, second and third, Nico Goodrum. Checks his swing and takes ball 1. Out of lovely Fayetteville, Georgia, Nico Goodrum.
Oh, okay. Playing in Detroit. That's the way we say it down there.
Down in the south, yeah. 1-0. Fouled away left side. Well, if Lucas can somehow figure out a way to get out of this inning without giving up a run, or even just 1 run, you'll take it. First inning has been the real tough inning for Lucas Giolito this year, by far.
Good curveball right there. Get ahead in the count 1-2. So you got a couple pitches to work with, plus you got an open base at first, so this should not be a cookie by any means.
One and 2 on Goodrum, who's been one of the surprise positives in a tough Tigers year.
Oh boy,
Spike
nice
to the dirt, and Smith saves a run.
Very nice job, Kevin. This is the way you do it. Get that body in front of it. Boy, he looked like a outstanding goalie right there. Boy, you cannot try and backhand balls or try and get him in your glove when in situations like this. You got to throw your body in front of it, and Kevin did a great job there. Ooh.
Dave Clark, by the way, not a huge fan of the coach's box over at third base.
If he shanks one, he will be.
He's all over the map.
Yeah.
That's a Dave Clark 25.
You know, as opposed to the rest of his group.
They've added 20 members. 3-2 is tipped foul. He stays alive.
Lucas getting it up there at 95. I said he doesn't have to throw a strike here. Usually youngsters, especially in RBI situations, will get themselves out by swinging at something out of the zone. You got a great guy on deck, and Victor Martinez, of course, he's still a shadow of his former self, but he's still a dangerous hitter.
Another one sprayed foul by Goodrum. Yeah, Victor had a double last night. For the most part, he's become a singles hitter, but still dangerous and skilled with the bat.
Especially in an RBI situation, because he's the kind of guy that's not going to get himself out. He won't be swinging at those bad pitches that a younger hitter has a tendency of doing.
Three and 2 from Lucas. And he got him to swing through a changeup for strike 3.
Well, there's that pitch out of the zone. Boy, he had great arm action on this one. It looks like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball out of his hand, but then the bottom just falls out. Great location right there, and the young hitter cannot hold back. So, one step closer.
Yeah, if there's been any difference pitch choice wise and movement wise in the second half of the season, it's been the changeup for Lucas Giolito. Early in the year, the batting average against was skyrocketing, and that has gotten better and better as the year's gone on.
Well, it looks like he's not giving it away. Maybe he was doing that earlier. You give away your changeup, you slow up your arm action, you will get hit hard.
Victor fouled away left side, and he has racked up quite a few hits against the Sox. Active players, most hits against a single opponent. Victor Martinez against the Sox is number 3, but don't feel bad because the Royals are just behind.
Oh, I feel much better.
Yeah, finally, I heard the sigh of relief. 0-1. Opposite way, fair ball. That was Minnesota Fats down the line for Victor Martinez, and he is in safely with a 2-run double.
That's a shame right there. He was pitching. He made some great pitches. He made a great pitch right here, right in on the thumbs. And it was like a magic wand. Look at this. Boom. Late, tardy, whatever you want to call it. The ball just kind of came back a little bit more. Didn't quite jam him as bad as I thought he did. But still, this ball was not scalded, but it was perfectly placed.
That's exactly what you're talking about when you have a veteran hitter up, though.
Yeah. It turned out to be a strike. It wasn't in off the plate, which is probably where he needed to throw that.
Yeah, leaked a little bit over the inside corner. So here's Adduci, 33 years old, former 42nd round pick of the Marlins back in '03.
Wow.
Up the middle, and this will tie the game. Martinez comes home, 4 hits in the inning, 2 of them with 2 outs, and the Tigers are all the way back just like that.
Well, that's pretty much center cut. It looked like a cutter. It was 87 miles an hour. Good swing by Adduci. You see his head behind the ball very nicely. Solid.
When those sliders stay out over the plate.
And that's why I say you can get away with a hanging curveball a lot easier than you can with a hanging slider, because the plane stays the same with the slider. Curveball, at least, will change your eye angle a little bit.
So you're saying, as a hitter, when you pick the ball up and it's a spinning slider, it just stays there?
Yeah, you see the dot. And that's what that one was right there. I'm sure Adduci saw that right out of his hand.
Now McCann, who had 3 hits last night. Well, Wimpy, we're on pace for 27-27.
Yes.
Or even more,
actually. Bring a long night.
You think maybe?
Well, we got to show that this day in baseball.
A little early for that.
Well, no, it isn't.
Lucas gets the swing from McCann. Might end up in the Jay-Z and Beyonce spill-out crowd after the game. Are they performing again tonight?
I hope not. I think Drake is.
You think? Oh, Drake tonight.
Yeah. Oh, they both are. Great.
Thought you had
Drake
tickets.
was a male duck.
You really did listen to a lot of Vin Scully.
He doesn't do polka music, does he?
Drake?
Yeah.
No.
Markakis?
He's not one of the Lost Schmenke brothers. 2 strikes on McCann. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. Kevin's going to have to make the throw, and that will do it for a high-scoring first inning. The Lions and Bears both have a field goal, and we'll come back in the second for more offense. And we'd like to remind you that Dunkin' Donuts is a sponsor of White Sox baseball. The second inning brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Oh, nothing like good freeze pop at the ball game. Oh. Thanks, Homer. So it's 3-3 after 1. A pitcher's duel will break out somewhere tonight as Hardy lobs in a strike to Sanchez. 1-1. (9-5) was the final score last night. Sanchez off the mound, second base, and good room. Nice play for round number 1. Head to the ballpark. Dollar Hot Dog Wednesdays on August 22nd. Sox and the Twins, 1:10 p.m. Brought to you by Securian Financial, who can help you make every moment count. Find out more at Securian.com. For tickets, visit WhiteSox.com/DollarDogs today.
Don't use your teeth. Trust me, they'll fall out like mine. Oh.
See, what happens is you get that little piece of plastic that you've chipped off, and you have to like spit it in front of you like she just did, and that's unacceptable.
I feel a root canal coming right here.
The freeze pop root canal. See, there it is again. Little piece of plastic.
How do we find her? We're everywhere, aren't we? Aren't we?
See, at some point you give up on the opening, and then you just start pushing it up from the bottom.
Oh boy!
That ball's hit well by Lamar, deep to left field. Ryan Lamar gets it up and out, and the Sox retake the lead, 4-3. The Michigan man goes deep at Comerica Park.
Boy, that was a no-doubter. That ball was scalded. First career home run. Congratulations, Ryan. He deserved this one. Look at this. Fastball, center cut. He didn't miss it either. That's the pitch you got to hit. So look at it. Backlegged it a little bit, but his head was behind the baseball. He makes solid contact. That was a no-doubter.
80 career Major League games, 168 plate appearances, and #1 for Ryan Lamar in his home state, as Engel gives this one a ride, but not deep enough. Gerber makes the catch.
Got that one a little bit on the end. Well, that could have gone. This is a good night for hitting. That ball's going to be carrying. Old Glory looks like it's blowing out to center, but the light air usually enhances the chances of going out of here. This is a big ballpark.
You can feel it, though, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is no Tiger Stadium.
Anderson takes a strike. Michigan born, Michigan raised, Michigan educated, Ryan Lamar. Some family here at the ballpark. You know how that goes.
Great.
He is loving it, and so are his teammates. Anderson floats it to right. Castellanos for out #3, but the Sox retake the lead. And a milestone moment for Ryan Lamar. 4-3 Sox. presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media because Nationwide is on your side. How about Ryan Lamar?
Great. That's just wonderful. Talked about him earlier. He looks like one of those movie star idols, matinee idols, or a
He looks
soap
like,
opera.
Yeah, it looks like a daytime Emmy winner.
Yeah. It's a good name, too, for the business.
Ryan Lamar.
Yeah. He would be related to, no,
Headley.
or Hetty. Distant.
He is a huge Michigan football fan, like to the point that a couple weeks ago, before he went back down to Charlotte, he had calculated the last time Michigan beat Ohio State and was getting really frustrated about that whole ordeal to the point of anger. But he's doing better now with that home run and all.
Well, some Michiganders really take that seriously.
Some, like all of them. If you're a State fan and you lose to Michigan, not great.
Right.
There's a Michigan man in the crowd, part of the Ryan Lamar section. Why Michigander, by the way? How did that happen?
Who? Me?
No, I know how you became a Michigander. You were born here.
Yes.
That's called strike three. Gerber is a fourth punch out for Giolito.
Got away with a high changeup right there. Looked like it. That's 4 strikeouts. Top of the strike zone. It's one of those pitches. That's a pretty good hitting pitch right there.
Why not just Michiganer?
Oh,
is
no,
all I was saying.
Michigander. No, that's the way we talk here.
Oddly.
Ask anybody here in this room.
No, I know it exists. And I
Well,
also
you talking
know
about Michiganer? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Michiganer.
Oh, jeez, no. No.
Do you find me Illinoisan? Oh, 1.
Ooh, there's a good curveball right there. Reyes off his shoe. You know, Giolito really has only made one bad pitch, the one to Adducey. He hung a slider. Pitch to, there was nothing wrong with that pitch to Victor Martinez on the 2-run double that he almost got out of the inning with.
You think if you asked Lucas, he would want that ball just a little bit more inside?
Oh, no question. He'd have got on his thumbs then. He just pushed that ball actually down the third baseline. Because he was late on that swing, of course, was Martinez. But, you know, he's a veteran. He's used to driving in runs.
He wanted to and didn't. 2-2 on Reyes. 23-year-old having to spend the full year on the roster with the Rule 5 pick situation. Good speed. Two and two. In the air, left center field. Adam gives way to Lamar, and 2 out.
Yeah, I've seen Lamar play center field when he was with Minnesota earlier in the year, so it's pretty good defense, good speed out there to cover a big outfield.
Former second-round pick, had a bunch of injuries. Seemed like every part of his body at some point early on in his career was dinged up, and finally gets a chance with Leury Garcia's injury.
Yeah.
Lamar gets to come back up, gets a start in front of his family today, and ends up belting his first career home run.
Couldn't have been more perfect.
Where was your first one?
First home run?
Uh-huh.
I think it was in Atlanta against another Michigander, Larry Jaster. I think.
You
But
don't
I
remember?
No.
Your first home run?
I hit so many. I think it was Larry Jaster. Grew up playing against his brother, Danny Jaster. They were from Midland, Michigan. Oh boy.
Up the middle, center field, wanded there by Candelario, who's 2 for 2. When you grew up, did you learn how to point to the location in Michigan where you're from on your hand? Because that's another thing they do here, right?
That's true. Yeah, we do that.
Where are you from? Traverse City. It's
right over here by the thumb.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Upper Peninsula either.
You've never been?
Never been.
You're not a Youper even?
No, I'd like
vacation?
to go though. But they say you should go. Better go now though, because when it gets to winter, you're not going to get there.
Tom Izzo's a Youper, right?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Well, you got it right. Your first home run was in Atlanta against Larry Jasper.
Wow. Yep.
Congratulations.
2 Michiganders battling it out.
You hit it off a guy who used to work at the Dow Chemical plant.
Right. They got a nice ball field there.
The Loons. The Great Lakes Loons. You ever play for them? It seems like it would fit.
I did not. I'll tell you what, that Midwest League now is really coming around. They got a lot of great ballparks in Michigan and the surrounding states, Wisconsin and Illinois too.
That home run, I'm told, was the winning run. The one you hit, the first one, was the first. It was the game-winning home run in Claude Osteen's 20th win that year. How about that?
Was that 1970?
72.
Okay.
Ow! To shortstop, Tim's got a hustle, and he's got him.
Good play.
So after 2, 4-3, we'll be back after this with more with Midwest League Ambassador Tom Paciorek.
Text Subway to 79999. The 300th texter wins a $30 gift card. Subway, so much sandwich.
79999.
999.
Is that actually? It's 97999.
999.
Oh, and 2 on Avi. What a wild game so far.
Just the way it was written.
Yeah, phonetically. I think you nailed it. 0-2 for Avi, the former Tiger, trying to break an 0 for 16. Sox got 3 runs in the first inning. And by the way, the initial ruling on the scoring of Kevin Smith's sacrifice fly was 2 runs driven in. 1 has been subtracted. So just the 1 RBI. Scoring Abreu. Then Davidson came home on his own recognizance.
Right. Well, the big hit in that inning really was Davidson's little blooper that probably should have been caught. And Avi goes down.
First strikeout for Hardy.
Well, he's just, yeah, as you mentioned, he's 0 for 17 now, but you know, when Avi's just pulling off the ball. When you see that belly button, Hawk always says that, when you see that belly button early as he's striding, you're gone. He's gone. Because the shoulder goes, the hip goes, and there's nothing left to swing with, plus your head's moving. I know that feeling very well.
Well, you mentioned the curveball changing the eye level. When the head's moving, what does that do to your visual path?
Oh boy, you don't see it a whole lot. The pitch looks a heck of a lot faster than it really is.
When your head's moving.
Oh yeah, when you're diving across, your head's moving like a lot of guys. There's a good changeup. The velocity of the pitch, if it's 90 to your eye, it's going to look about 100. So your chances of hitting it are not that good. That's why to be more simplistic in your approach, and you know, just to try and stay behind the baseball, make solid contact.
1-2 on Jose, who since July 21st is hitting .321, on base nearly .400, slugging .643. He's locked in.
That's good.
1-2.
Well, the difference between Jose and Avi right now is probably Jose's not afraid to get jammed.
Yep.
He gets jammed, so what? He still got a chance to get hit. You got hits on the hands. There's no hits on the end of the bat.
In the air, foul ground, first base side, and no play. Your 2018 Chicago White Sox are presented by Guaranteed Rate, your trusted teammate throughout the mortgage process. Experience the difference today at rate.com. Those foul balls are when you miss Ernie Harwell.
Oh, and a man from Hamtramck caught that one. How did he know?
He always knew.
Grosse Pointe Isles, represented by that man. Oh boy.
That's called strike three, fluttering through the breeze into the top of the zone for round number 2.
Curveball that just kept digging, and Jose knew it.
Think that was his best curveball today?
Well, you know, see, the thing, you got away with a curveball. That was a high curveball, but he got away with it. Really froze because he changed his eye level. He throws that slider in the same spot, it might be a different story.
Could be visiting the pitcher's pub out there in right field.
You were just there last inning, weren't you? Signing autographs.
Of course. 2 strikes on Davidson, who hasn't played a whole lot. Daniel Polka against right-handed pitching has been so good. It's been tough to get Matt in the lineup. As you see the spray chart, over a quarter of the time he'll go to that vacated right side.
Yeah. Well, Polka just swinging that bat so well. He's going to be in there.
Yeah, even against the left-hander.
I think so. Yeah.
There's Daniel, who follows. Two and two, Hardy to Davidson.
Oh boy.
He got a called strike 3 off the outside corner. And he strikes out the side. Bottom 3 coming up. High scoring game so far.
UI Health, providing expert care for you and your family. UI Health, changing medicine for good. Learn more at uihealth.care. That was terrible.
Was that Vin?
See what I did there?
No, I don't. Here's Castellanos, who this season has been swinging a lot more first pitches. So we'll see what he does here after striking out in the first. Not a pitch you'd want to swing at, ball one. He is one of 3 players against the Sox since the mid-1940s to have 5 hits and 5 RBIs in the same game.
Well, he had a chance to do some damage too.
Davidson at third with the peg for out number 1. The other 2, one is a former Tiger and one's not. They both did it as Yankees. Joe DiMaggio, Cecil Fielder, the other 2 to do 5 hits and 5 RBIs at a game against the Sox since 1946.
Big Daddy.
Man, he hit some absolute blasts out of Tiger Stadium.
Oh. He visited that roof a few times, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
The left field roof. The right field was a piece of cake. A lot of guys did that.
You miss Tiger Stadium?
Yes.
You miss Burns Park?
Is that what it was?
Wasn't that the home of the Tigers back in the 1900s? They played Sunday games there.
No,
I think is what it was.
It was Briggs Stadium before Tiger Stadium.
But I think I was reading they had Burns Park in the 1900s, like 1901, 1902, and they played Sunday games there because Sunday baseball wasn't allowed in Detroit proper.
Wow.
As Anderson makes the catch for out number 2.
I did not know that.
I think it was called Burns Park. We might have to play a game of Is This True later. Yeah, Burns Park. It was the Sunday home of the Tigers.
Well, I was never there, so.
You didn't make it there?
Before my time.
1901. 2 out for Victor Martinez. I think we do forget, though, as we're talking about rules changing in baseball and the DH and all this stuff. And even just 115 years ago, the game was totally different in a lot of ways. It was not allowed in certain cities on Sundays because of the riffraff that it would bring. Up the middle. Anderson through the shift has a lot of time for round number 3. Top 4 coming next. Sox by a run. entire crew. In the 4th inning, it's 4-3. And Daniel Palka leads off to take a fastball, ball 1.
Well, you look at Palka and you think, we were talking about this earlier, think of Danny Pasqua. About the same size. Uh-oh, look at this.
Oh, that's just
Squibber.
a laser on the left side of the infield, and
Yes.
it gets away. Palka turns first, going for second, and you don't have to hit it 115 miles an hour to get yourself a couple of bases.
You can only hope to contain Palka. This is a William Mosconi shot off the end of the
Yeah, it
bat.
is.
Look at this. Look at the spin on this. I'm surprised the pitcher was able to come up with it. Hardy, just a bad throw off the base. I think they're probably going to give him an error. I'd love to see him get a hit on this one.
You know, sometimes that ball's still spinning in the glove when you reach for it to make the throw.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an error. The throw would have gotten him. See if Kevin Smith can manufacture a run here.
So I know you love exit velocity.
I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
111 miles an hour off the bat on his first ball.
Okay.
In the 1st inning. That was an RBI single. Off the bat on this one,
12.
23.3. It could drive in a school zone. That one to third. Candelario for out number 1. Here is your Sox
Exactly
math.
what the pitcher wanted to do, get him to roll over.
Here's your Sox math question for tonight. It's brought to you by Audi. Take Rick Renteria's jersey number multiplied by lefties in the Sox bullpen, divided by righties in the Sox bullpen, and then add the number of teams other than the Sox and Tigers Maglio Ordonez played for. It's brought to you by your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Audi dealers. Visit AudiOffers.com for exceptional deals. For 3 seasons now, torturing Tom Paciorek, Sox math.
I hate Sox math.
You do?
I do.
Little did I know a childhood dream would be fulfilled in tearing apart our trivia quiz.
Well,
thanks. You're not backing
you
off from that.
invented it.
On the ground left side,
yeah.
Candelario has it deflect off his glove. Palka's on his way to third on a good read, and runners are at the corners as Sanchez gets himself a base hit.
Yeah, chances are he wasn't going to score on that anyway because he had to make sure that the ball didn't go through the infield. So runners at the corners. There's some top spin right there. Nice diving effort by Candelario. And Palka, here he goes to third base. I don't want to tackle him.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, Danny Pasqua was a power guy too for the Sox for many years. Great guy. Built about like Palka. Hitting style, you know, he stood off the plate, went towards, when he took his stride, he took it towards home plate, just like Palka does too. Some similarities. Uh-oh.
Ryan Lamar.
Come on, baby.
Homered last time. Takes a strike. First home run for Ryan Lamar. His family watching in his home state. Went to the University of Michigan. A Michigan man through and through, Ryan Lamar. Go to first. Sanchez is back.
If you're thinking about the Sox running here, we saw McCann really throw the ball well last night, getting potential stealers.
We were talking to Ricky Renteria before the game, and he said, look, you can steal a base, but situationally, you got to be aware of a couple things. Number one, the pitcher's move, and then number two, especially on the attempted steal of third, what are you gaining in this situation?
Yeah.
And here you do it, I guess, to stay out of the double play.
Yeah, that's a good point. In this situation, you could run yourself right out of an inning with a good catcher. Last night, I thought it was a good move by Yolmer to try and steal third with less than 2 outs. That's when you do it.
Give yourself a chance at the
Give yourself-
productive out.
right.
Yeah.
Productive out, gets a run without a hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Lamar. Polka at third, Sanchez at first. Another throw. Tigers seem to believe that Yolmer might run.
I don't think he's going with this count, because there's a possibility of a strike him out, throw him out to end the inning.
Another throw to first. If there's one thing the Sox coaching staff spends a lot of time on, it's video of opposing pitchers and their moves to first base. That is the job of a couple guys down there. Nick Capra, Ricky Renteria, Joe McEwing all look at video to see if they can find something nobody else has seen. Strike 3. 2 down. Time now for StatCast AI. It's powered by AWS, and it's Ryan Lamar's first career home run, a fastball that he drilled at 107 miles an hour. And to his family, he says, thank you.
Very nice. Well, right there, he didn't get a fastball in that at bat. He took 2 breaking balls and then he swung at an off-speed pitch out of the zone. So now it's up to Adam Engel. Pick us up with 2 out.
If you're wondering, by the way, what does exit velocity matter? If you hit the ball 107 miles an hour last year, you take every ball that was hit 107 miles an hour, the batting average for those baseballs was 729.
Really?
In Major League Baseball. 729. You take off 10 miles an hour, it drops to 411. 97 miles an hour is 411. You drop that down to 87. The average was 229. So hit it real hard.
Yeah, hit it
You're
real-
on base. But there's a certain sweet spot there where you then become a 300 hitter if you can generate a certain amount of power, typically.
Yeah. Well, if you're not hitting into all these shifts too, that bears some noting too. You know, if you're content to keep pulling the ball, rolling over, then you aren't going to hit for an average. I don't care how hard you hit the ball.
Yeah.
You got to find the hole. You got to spread them out. That's what you want. They would never do that shift against a Tony Gwynn or a Rod Carew, because he'd just check and see where the shift was and just boop, go where they weren't.
It was like watching batting practice.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what they do anyway when they set up normally.
On the ground up the middle, and Goodrum slings it to barely nip Adam Engel to retire the side. Bottom 4 coming up, still a 1-run ball game. Eloy Jimenez. Oppo. See ya. Jimenez once again. That's home run number 11. It's his 5th since July 29th. And an 8-7 final for Buffalo, but a 3-run shot for Eloy Jimenez, who continues to pound the International League at .351 batting average.
You can see he's got big-time power going opposite field right there. Looks a lot like that Acuna guy that the Braves have. Youngster, what is he, 19, 20? Might be 20.
He's 20 or 21.
Yeah.
He homered in both ends of a doubleheader yesterday.
Yes, he did. They love him in Atlanta. They got a lot of good young players down there now.
Ozzy Albies.
Albies really good. All-star.
They're in first now. I mean, they're a game up on Philly, at least starting play today. Nationals are falling back again.
Yeah. Well, the Braves will go as far as their pitching will take them, because, you know, Markakis and Freeman are just having great years. And then you talk about Albies and Acuna. Those are 4 really stud-type players.
How about Nick Markakis and his revival?
Good. He's good. Got a short, compact swing. He makes contact, doesn't strike out. And he's as good now as he ever was. This might be his best year ever, and he had some very good years for the Orioles.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. He's not come out of nowhere, but to have what he has, like Matt Kemp with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Matt Kemp is back to what he was doing when he was there the first time.
Yeah.
A guy that he wasn't even. It looked like a salary dump when they got Matt Kemp.
Oh yeah. Well, Kemp really got in shape though. He lost probably at least 20 pounds, maybe more.
How good of a manager is Dave Roberts, by the way?
He's good. He's really good. He's one of those players, man. A lot like Ricky. You know, he's just got a little bit more talent to work with right now.
You can tell when people met Renteria in their lives. If you just met him the last couple years, he's Ricky. If you met him a while ago, like you, he's Richie.
yeah, Richie Renteria. Yeah, that's, as a player, that's what I do him as.
Abreu spins it to the covering Giolito, 1 down. Yeah, as a player, he was Rich Renteria when he was playing with the Pirates or the Marlins.
Yeah.
Now he's become Ricky. He was going to be Rick, but there are too many Ricks in the building. Rick Hahn and Rick Renteria. So you got to be Ricky.
Okay. He loves his job, though, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
You got to play hard for Ricky Renteria. If you can't do that, then you don't belong in this game.
No,
leave, please. Don't let the door hit you.
That wasn't directed at me, was it?
No.
Oh, thanks, buddy. 1 out for McCann. By the way, you find Renteria for even a moment without music around him.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty rare occurrence. As the very tall Zach McAllister gets loose.
Some big right-handers on that bullpen, don't they?
Man, some good stuff too.
Yeah.
Alcantara guy we
That's
saw
the
last
one
night.
I like the best. I wasn't too fond of the previous pitchers, but that Alcantara. Is that his name?
Nope.
Good. Something like that.
Yeah, you're very close. You asked though. I wasn't going to say anything if you didn't ask. 1 and 2 on McCann.
Alcantara.
That's Alcantara plus Alcantara combined.
Alcantara.
He was good though.
Yeah, he was really good last. Boy, he went through that 9th inning like it was nothing.
When you talk to a couple hitters and they can't really identify what they saw pitch type wise, that's when you know you had a good night.
Yeah, and when you go through that inning and not have a good swing taken against you too.
Up the middle, shift was on. Sanchez behind the bag for round number 2. Here's your Sox math answer. I know Wimpy had it first. It's actually
167.
It's just, well, you added a 6 in the middle. It's 17. Renteria's jersey number, same number of lefties and righties in the bullpen, so that all washes out to 1. And Mags only played for the Sox and Tigers, so that's 0. So it's 17, and then everything else is just the same.
Maglio Ordonez, boy, he was a fine hitter.
wasn't he?
For a long time, yeah.
Really likable guy, too. I know he's a fan favorite for the Sox. Then he came over here, and Sox fans still liked him.
Yeah.
Which is a sign of
Sure.
how much of an imprint you made. I asked before the series on Twitter, with a picture of this ballpark, who's the first person you think of when you see this park? And a lot of people answered Maglio Ordonez. Sox fan set of people for the most part. Some folks said Al Kaline.
Yeah.
Strike three, Gerber's down. Giolito chews up the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, and we'll play the 5th. They get 4 out of Hardy after 4 2/3 from Artie Lewicki yesterday. So McAllister, early on in his Tigers career, just game number 2 for him. He allowed a run in 1 inning, his first time out, but those are his combined numbers between here in Cleveland. That Indians bullpen, which has been retooled a couple of times this year.
Yeah. He's big enough to get people out, isn't he?
Man. Illinois native himself, born in Peoria. Zach McAllister.
Jim Thome country.
How great was Jim Thome's ceremony and his speech in Cooperstown? One of the most well-liked people in baseball.
Right. Right.
Tim takes a strike.
I remember when Jimmy was relegated to be in the backup in Philadelphia behind Brian Howard. And he took him under his wing and you know, knowing that he wasn't going to play. Good job, Timmy.
To right field, 2 for 3. So he has turned it on after a tough night last night, but Anderson's hit the ball well here this season.
Inside out right here. Front door breaking ball. You could call this, but it looks like just a hanger. And Tim stayed back, let the hands go before the barrel of the bat, head behind the ball. That was a nice job of hitting. So you get speed at first. This might be an opportunity to put a hit and run on, because when a guy's not swinging the bat like Avi is right now, you want to make him go, be aggressive. Maybe get himself a cookie right here, put it in play hard, or get the infielders to moving around too.
First pitch, Hunting. He swings through it, 0-1. Boy, when he was locked in,
I know.
he was scary.
It's like it's a beach ball coming up there. Now, it's like a little bitty thing.
On the ground.
Yes.
Won't be two, won't be any.
Woo!
Anderson to third. Runners at the corners.
Found the hole. That's what he needed. Good aggressive base running here by Tim Anderson. Watch this one. Little inside out action too. I like these swings the Sox are taking tonight. Hit the ball the other way. Get a chance to get some knocks. Improve on that batting average. And Tim was in full stride. Easily gets to third. A great opportunity now for Abreu.
Yeah, runners at the corners, nobody out. And this for Jose is usually fish in a barrel to get at least one run.
Should. They're playing him to hit the opposite way. In the outfield, there's a huge gap in left center. Oh,
Right side, base hit, just a laser skidding all the way into the corner. Looked like it was rolling downhill. Abreu gets one in. Avi follows. That ball was just smoked through the grass here in Detroit, and it's 6-3.
Notice all these hits are the opposite field. That's a great job of hitting. That was an inside out swing, folks. Look where the head is, behind the ball, but the hands came before the barrel of the bat, allowing him to go inside out and just hit a rocket to right field. Well, that's big time power right there. So 3 great at bats, and the Sox lead at 6-3.
That ball was hurt.
Oh yeah.
Now Davidson takes a strike.
Yeah, that ball was just scalded, dead to right field too. Shows you how strong Jose is.
Well, Castellanos off the bat thought he had an angle on that thing, and he most certainly did not.
Abreu now with 70 RBIs.
That's after going about a month where he was in one of the toughest slumps of his career. I mean, he was not doing much of anything. He was frustrated about it as he went into the All-Star break, came out of the break, and hit the turning point really in Seattle that first weekend after the break. Matt did go, and the throw to first is out number 1. Take your family of 4 to a White Sox game before school's back in session. With the family 4-packs, you'll get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 chips, and 4 sodas for as low as $49. Upper and lower level packages are available. Get yours at whitesox.com/4packs today. Can you believe school's starting soon?
School's already started in the South. We've been in school for a month now.
What?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Get out early. Get out in May.
Get out when? In May?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's only like 2 months of a summer. June and July.
They go back in. I think I take that back. Maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks they've been back. It's not a month, but it's close to it. Yeah, these kids have been in school.
I know why you hate Sox math, because you hate all math.
Exactly. I used to walk my kids to school every day because we were in the same grade.
That one gets away.
Oh, yeah.
Abreu to third.
That's big right there, because now they're going to have to bring the infield in, open up those holes over there, and Polka can get himself an easy RBI here. That's a bad job by McCann right there.
Would you call this impassioned defense?
Man, I don't know. It's weird, but that he didn't do anything like this in last night's ball game. He looked like Johnny Bench.
Infield in now. Polka fouls it away straight back. Yeah, he did everything right last night.
Wow.
McCann
Had a great game. Great game. Now he's got a battle with 2 strikes. Wants to go up.
He does, and he gets the swing he wants.
Yep.
2 down.
You're going to throw a fastball to Danny Polka. You want to keep it above the belt. There's a little bit of head movement right there too. Anytime you have a leg kick going forward like that, a little bit tougher to hit that high fastball.
He knew pretty early in that swing that he didn't want that to be happening.
Yeah, well, look, he was looking for that pitch up. He was going to swing at it regardless. Look at this.
Into the right field corner, just foul. Kevin Smith down 0-1. Zach McAllister on the mound for the Tigers. Zach Birdie is back for the Sox off his Tommy John surgery, pitching in Arizona and part of a no-hitter, his 4th rehab stint. 1 inning of work. He struck out the side, and the Sox finished the deal with a no-hitter in Arizona. So good to see Birdie, another Louisville product, back and climbing again.
Hard thrower. Isn't he a 100-mile-an-hour guy?
Oh, yeah. Good family from the Chicago area. Kevin takes strike 2. Sox with 2 runs in the inning on the Abreu double to right. Jose 90 feet away. Sox are trying to break a streak of 8 straight games with 10 or more strikeouts. That last strikeout in the 9th inning, as Alcantara struck out the side, put the Sox at 10 for the 8th straight game. It's both a sign of the times, but also a sign of a lack of contact.
Yeah.
That could decrease and still have your team be a sign of the times.
Yeah. Well, the Texas Rangers, Joey Gallo, have struck out more than the Sox this year. That's not good.
Looks like the Sox will set the franchise record, which got set last year for strikeouts for a season, as McCann blocks this one to keep Abreu at 3rd.
And it's obvious too that the hit total, strikeouts, going to surpass the hit totals too for the year.
Well, the thing about this game is it changes every year. In some ways, strategy-wise. It's a copycat league too, so we'll see what comes of the future of the strikeout in baseball.
Oh yeah.
To right field on a line. Castellanos reaches up and reels it in. Could have been another run off the bat of Kevin Smith. Sox get a couple more for Lucas and make it 6-3. Tigers at lovely Comerica Park. He's Tom Paciorek. I'm Jason Benetti. For our entire crew here in Detroit, we thank you for joining us this beautiful Tuesday evening for White Sox baseball. Tigers have had the Sox number this year at 9-1 coming into this night as Reyes takes a strike. But Lucas Giolito, since a 4-hit first inning, has really settled in.
Yeah. Well, he's only made a couple bad pitches tonight and paid for it with 3 runs. Good curve. 2 in a row.
Oh, 2. Another breaking ball. This one into center field. He gave him a couple of curveballs to see, and Reyes has a single. Time now for tonight's Random Sox leaderboard. You never know what's going to be on the list. It is most hits by Michigan-born players.
Boy, we're really scraping, aren't we?
Well, you're number 4. That's why we did it for you.
Spanky.
Yeah.
Billy Pierce. Well, he's from Highland Park. Billy, what a great guy.
Yeah.
And Spanky, he's from Kalamazoo. Zoo.
Ryan Lamar, of course, from Michigan as well. Trying to hop onto that leaderboard. He only needs about 105 more hits tonight.
He'll catch us.
Because you were born in Michigan, what do you know about baseball that other people wouldn't know?
Ty Cobb was good.
He was a very likable fellow.
Oh, yes, he was.
Never got.
Very misunderstood.
Is that right?
I think.
Never got under anybody's skin.
Oh, no.
Georgia Peach.
Never fought. He didn't sharpen his spikes or anything like that.
Those are actually his spikes.
He's from Georgia now.
On the ground, tough hop, tag, collision.
Wow.
Save the call at first. Boy, Tim just belted Reyes. Or the other way around.
Yeah, that's right. It's hard to figure that one out. Take another look at it. The ball is hit hard. Timmy's only chance is to tag the runner. Ooh. I don't know. Could that be construed as interference? Not letting him complete? No, not really.
Well, he was trying to tag him.
Yeah. No, all his momentum to it. That was nothing to do with Reyes.
Now, if he wasn't making a play on Reyes, you could make the argument that it's interference because it's incumbent on the runner to get out of the way of a fielder making a play. But because the fielder was making a play on you.
Yeah. No doubt. Right call. I got that lead runner, though. That was a good play by Tim Anderson. You know, we talked about that. You get into awkward positions, too, with all these shifts. You know, that ball could have been a ground ball to the second baseman where they could turn in an easy 4-6-3 double play, but not with the shift on.
Yeah, you and Ricky Renteria were talking about that before the game, that you almost have to relearn infield positions with the shift.
Oh, yeah. The one batter, you might be a second baseman. The next time you might be a Roman center. You're like in softball.
The 10 position.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know. I think it's tougher to play defense this way. Unless you're sure that guy's a dead pull hitter, he's not going to hit it anywhere past the, where the second baseman normally plays.
2 down for Castellanos. Giolito made real quick work of Iglesias, who's very tough to strike out.
Yes, he is. Well, he went fishing there on a breaking ball. Obviously didn't pick up the spin. So here's Castellanos, who is 0 for 2. How about that?
After 5 for 5 yesterday, and Giolito has now unearthed the curveball. That's number 13 out of 77 pitches tonight.
I like that curveball.
So 21 changeups, 13 curveballs, just 4 sliders.
Like it. I like it.
Fastball up and playable for Sanchez. To the bag for route number 3. Giolito works around the leadoff single. On we go to the 6th. Sox up 3.
True Chicago fans. Oh,
That was Keith Jackson, I think.
You see what I did there?
Yeah. That's,
Trying to get a redeemer.
you know, he has a bathroom named after him at the University of Nebraska, in the football press box.
And what is it?
It's a Keith Jackson Memorial Bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, it's named after him.
Keith Jackson.
There's no punchline. That's actually real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know you live in a world where there's always a punchline, but in this case, it doesn't exist.
Weird world.
Weird, wild stuff. Ball and a strike on Sanchez. Yolmer sprays it foul. This summer, head to your favorite store and grab some cold Modelo Especial. Perfect to enjoy while watching the White Sox. Enter for a chance to win tickets to a White Sox game. No purchase necessary. Ends August 20th, so you got to hurry. Visit CrownImportsContest.com for rules. Modelo, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
We met a lot of those nice people. There's a good fastball right there. Swing back didn't quite get there at the golf outing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Nice people.
How'd you shoot?
10 under. Didn't get any help from my team. No, actually, they were all well, no, they were complaining they didn't get a celebrity in their group. I'll tell you, that's called no respect, you know. It was fun though. Great day.
Great
Beverly,
weather, right?
Oh, Beverly Country Club. Wow.
Heard you met my buddy Mike Hall from
Yes,
Big Ten Network.
Big Ten Network. Very nice man. That's Butler. Beverly is the home of Ed Farmer.
How about that?
Yeah.
Mike Hall, by the way, was as excited as anybody I've ever met or known to meet you. He was like over the moon that you were yelling in the hole on his golf shots.
I like people that have low standards.
3-2.
Ooh, right there.
That's called strike 3.
Ooh.
A fastball at 96.
Hey, how does this guy have a 5-point earned run average? Every time I've watched him pitch, he's got nasty stuff. Plus, he's a big guy. Hard fastball, hard slider.
Too much of the plate sometimes.
I don't know. Let's see what Ryan can do here.
Home run first time up, strikeout second time. Got a cheering section here, being a Michigan native. Cincinnati, Boston, Minnesota. Finally the Sox to get that first major league home run tonight.
Well, he's in the catbird seat here. Got to sit on that fastball. Do what he did his first time up.
Well,
that thing rode in there hard on his hands. That was ball 3. But Ryan was trying to hit it out of here.
Can't blame him.
Oh no. It's your best swing at 2-0 and 3-1.
McAllister and Lamar on 2-1. Off the plate, 3-1. Sox and Tigers will play again tomorrow. That's a 12:10 Central Time start time. 1:10 here. Carlos Rodon on the mound against Jordan Zimmerman.
That's a good matchup.
Carlos is slinging it right now.
When he's healthy, he's a bona fide #1 for any team.
And the scary part is he's said that he doesn't feel like he has his best stuff still.
You know, that could be true because, you know, going through all the injuries that he's had over the last couple years, you know, missing most of last season, I would think, you know, you might feel a little bit tentative, not really wanting to let it all go. But boy, every time I've seen him pitch this year, he's been just had great super stuff, really.
Looks easy, looks free from the injury stuff.
Yeah, it almost looks effortless.
Flip foul, still 3-2 on Lamar. Half-hearted wave from those folks.
That's not a good one.
The old seated one hand wave.
Forget about it.
Can't tell if they're waving or quitting.
You know, there's a late arriving crowd here. There's over 20,000 people here. Tigers averaging just about that.
Yeah, filled in late.
Yeah.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Lamar. Right field side, hooking Castellanos into the corner, and that ball is foul. The battle rages on.
There's a happy young lady. How'd she do that?
Get the ball.
Fought her way through and give it to a youngster. How about that?
A little Cameron Maben fan.
Yeah. Where's Cameron Maben? I just saw. Is he with the Mets or am I crazy?
He's with the, I want to say the Mariners. I saw his name.
Yeah, he's
pop
with the
up.
Mariners. Yeah. Mariners trying to make a run, get back in that race in the AL West.
4.5 back. They play at Oakland tonight. Houston home for Colorado. That's a 2-game spread between the Astros and the A's right now.
Wow. I'll tell you what, it's become a 6th-inning game against Oakland.
Oh yeah.
I tell you what, I take their bullpen over anybody's right now. They got those flamethrowers, and it's almost automatic once you get to the 7th. If they have the lead, they're generally going to win that thing.
The only bullpen I might take would be the Yankees. But Britain's not Britain right now.
Right.
So I'm with you. 3-2. In the air, third base side. Candelario, foul territory. He's underneath. And he makes the catch for out number 2. Showed you the minor league report earlier. Jake Berger is on the rehab trail after popping that Achilles not once but twice this season. Dropping a shout out to the folks providing some of his rehab equipment. And some nice positive thoughts. You see it came from Camelback Ranch in Glendale, which means he's there rehabbing. Really nice kid, Jake Berger, can really hit. You hope that he gets back healthy sooner rather than later.
That Achilles is tough, though, isn't it?
I've never popped mine.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
Talked to some people that have felt it, and it's no fun.
0-2 on angle. We were talking to Todd Steverson before the game. One of the guys he's shown Adam to help him offensively is Dave Winfield.
Yeah. Yeah, his approach to it almost looked like Winfield was swinging down on the baseball, although the palm of his top hand was still up.
Todd Steverson took some Dave Winfield video, some Hank Aaron video.
They're good.
And he sent it to Adam Engel and said, 1,400 home runs. Maybe think about doing what they did.
I don't understand why you wouldn't copy somebody that's really been successful. And all those great hitters are real simple with their plan.
Adams mad at himself that he swung at that pitch. High fastball does him in. We'll play bottom 6. Tigers and Sox in a 6-3 lead for the Sox. Inning here at Comerica Park in lovely downtown Detroit. He's Tom Paciorek. I'm Jason Benetti. And Lucas Giolito, who's allowed just 2 hits after the first inning, goes after Goodrum, Martinez, and Adduci coming up.
And you were talking last inning, Jason, about the fact that he was throwing a lot more curveballs. Well, and kind of abandoning his slider. It's really hard to have both of those pitches working for you, slider and the curveball, because a lot of times there's a base hit. He's Goodwin's got a quick bat.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of success from him in this series, but last time we were here, you could see what he provides the Tigers.
Yeah, he just, boy, I'll tell you, he snaps those hands. Watch this right here. Quick, makes contact, head behind the ball. Well, that was quick, hitting a pretty good fastball right there by Lucas. But I remember Kevin Millwood, when he was a rookie with the Atlanta Braves, he had a yellow hammer curveball, just straight 12 to 6. 62 strikes, only 18 balls. Wow, that's great.
That's a really nice sign.
Woo, but he had a snapdragon curveball.
Millwood.
Vicious. He won 17 games as a rookie, and then he decided he's going to get a slider. Well, his curveball turned into a slurve, and he lost both pitches. And then he became very average.
Yeah.
So, sometimes, you don't need both those. I'm not saying abandon the slider completely, but I'm a bigger fan of the curveball than I am of the slider.
Seems to me one of the toughest things to do in baseball is to figure out when you should stay where you're at and when you should try to add something to make sure you're adjusting. As a runner's off, and this is grounded right side. Sox do have a shot at Martinez, but he is safe. It's a single, an infield single for Victor Martinez.
Goodrum was running on this pitch. He had second base stolen, standing up. If Victor doesn't swing, hits it hard. Nice play there by Sanchez, but even though Martinez is the slowest guy on the field, still beats it out.
He was legging that time.
Oh, yeah.
Really letting it
when
out.
you smell a hit, you're going to go a little bit faster, but he still doesn't move too good. A lot of leg injuries. But it's like what we were just talking about. Just like saying, tell Burt Blythe I'm going to throw a slider instead of his curveball.
Yeah,
you nuts.
Take away the thing that he's known for.
Yeah, yeah. I like Lucas going with the curve.
It's fouled back, and just short of Jim Price and Dan Dickerson.
Boy. He was poised.
He was.
He was on point. Look at him, man.
Had the hands out. He was ready to go. He was one more foot or two away from going headlong out into the crowd. He was so excited about that foul ball. In the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike on a doozy from Evergreen Park High School.
Yep.
A couple of Chicago kids in this lineup. Gerber is from Neuqua Valley. A doozy, Evergreen Park. Foul of third, 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's been more of a fastball, curveball, changeup guy tonight, Giolito. I like it.
Well, you heard early on when his name was first coming onto the radar in pro ball about that really good curveball along with a very strong fastball.
Well, maybe. I don't know if he had a slider when he came out of high school or whenever he signed. I think he did sign out of high school, didn't he?
Harvard Westlake.
Yeah, Harvard. Well, that's a good school. But don't fix anything if it isn't broke. And it's not to say that you don't need, everyone wants to have 4 pitches. Well, what's wrong with 3? If you have a good curveball and a changeup to top off a good fastball, and then you can sink the fastball or sometimes even try and put a little run on it.
You can get 3 pitches out of a fastball.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
2-2 and a throw coming to second. And what I think happens sometimes is you go through the minor leagues, you have so many different coaches, and they all have their own different opinions, and then you end up in a different organization. Lucas is on his second organization. So there's a lot of learning. What do I take? What do I discard? That comes along with the path to the majors nowadays.
Yeah. Why did they draft you so high? Why were you so good? That was a good curveball just in the dirt.
The one thing we do know is Don Cooper's had grand success with a lot of pitchers over time.
Got a lot of talent, Giolito. There's the great Herm Schneider and Coop. Dr. Payne. He loves to inflict it. I'll get you back on that field. I'll torture you.
Yeah, you'll never want to see me again.
That's right. How many years has Herm been here? My goodness. Isn't it the 70s, I think he came.
Yeah. He had some great words come his way from Jim Thome for what he did for Jim's back to get him on the field when Jim was in Chicago. Tapper foul.
Bo Jackson.
Yep.
After that hip replacement, Hermie worked him to death. Of course, Bo likes that stuff.
He also took care of our director, Todd Benjaminson, who
there you go.
Has been dealing with tennis elbow.
All the great ones.
For what seems like years now.
You know, a normal guy would be in the intensive care unit with that injury, and he's out here directing this game. Can you believe it?
Because of Herm and because of his toughness.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gutting it out.
That's high ball 4. Bases loaded, nobody out. He joined the White Sox in honoring Chicago area police and fire departments. It's coming up Thursday, August 30th. Police and Fire Night. First 10,000 fans get a Yolmer Sanchez celebration themed T-shirt presented by UL. You were there for that, for when Yolmer dumped a bucket of water on himself, Gatorade. For more than a century, UL has been committed to fire safety. Learn more at ul.com/fire, whitesox.com/PDFD, or call 866-SOX-GAME. Coop on the phone to Kurt Hassler, and the bullpen is up and moving.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite nights, and it happened to be lucky enough to be there when Yolmer did the Gatorade over his own head. That was fantastically funny.
He is one of the true entertainers in baseball now.
He loves the game, loves to play. Well, this is no work to him. Here's McCann.
Bases loaded, nobody out. McCann takes ball 1.
Boy, Sox would love to trade a run here for a double play. You know, McCann runs very well for a catcher. Above average speed for that position.
His first career home run was an inside the park home run.
Yeah, he's an athlete. Oh.
That one's blooped to right field. Avi with a strong arm is underneath. Goodrum won't tag, and there's out number 1. A double play gets you out of it now.
Boy, that was a cookie, too.
You hear what Kevin Smith said when Lucas was walking by? He said, come on, 2 more, let's go.
Yeah. Well, don't throw 2 more pitches like that, because it might be in your New Amsterdam over there on the right field line.
There's Jace Fry loosening up in the Sox bullpen. Gerber takes in the dirt.
Kevin Smith has done a nice job behind home plate, blocking balls. You know, when you're throwing a lot of changeups and curveballs, you're naturally going to throw a lot in the dirt, especially with runners in scoring position. It's really important to get down. There's a nice changeup. 82 miles an hour.
Yeah, secondary stuff's been pretty good tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I believe that pitch he threw McCann was a slider.
Fastball at 93, challenged him after the changeup.
That had some run on it, too. That was moving away from the hitter. And if I had a choice between a cut fastball and a sinking fastball to throw, I'd throw the sinker. I think it's tougher to hit.
1-2, bases loaded, 1 out. He struck him out. Wow. Fastball at 94.
Woo! Came in his kitchen right there. Very nicely done. Boy, that came back too. It started on the inside corner and rode almost all the way to the other side since July 4th.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
On the road, he's been tremendous the last month and change. Trying to keep it there. 2.66 ERA coming into tonight. And it's Reyes who stands in the way of a 0 in this 6th. Up high, ball 1. You would imagine if Giolito finished this inning, the Sox would say, thanks for what you did. 100+ pitches. Jace Fry or somebody else would come in the 7th.
I would think so.
1-0.
Nice.
Beautifully placed.
See, I like that one. When you start it off the plate and then it comes back over the corner, you freeze that guy. Watch this. This is really nice. Boom. Thinks it's inside. Came back. Maddox. That's all I think of when I see that pitch. Good grief.
In the air, third base side, Davidson. Bases loaded, nobody out, and none shall pass. 7th inning. Coop's on the phone with a better message. 6-3 Sox. It's only a big hug because Lucas is so big, but he is overjoyed.
Yeah, that was good. He really bulled his neck in that last inning. Bases loaded, nobody out, and to get away, skate through that inning with no runs, that's big.
So Buck Farmer is out of the bullpen after 2 innings from Zach McAllister. 3 hits, 2 earned runs. No walks, 4 strikeouts. Farmer with a 4.59 ERA.
No
Anderson
relation, right?
To
our own?
No relation to Ed.
No? Okay. Good.
Buck's a better storyteller.
Oh, no.
He's going to get wind of that.
He already has.
Wimpy said that. Here's Anderson to take a strike. So normally we play sticks and stone, but this is going to be throwers and Tom that we play tonight.
Oh, okay.
It's brought to you by Volkswagen. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer or VWdealer.com, where we quiz you on your own career. So the question is, at which ballpark did you have the highest batting average in your career? Iglesias for round number 1.
I'm going to say Metrodome.
You think the Metrodome?
I do.
You saw the ball well there?
No, but I remember getting some hits there.
So
yeah, I saw it better than the Kingdom.
Okay.
Because I was experienced at the Kingdom, so I'm going to go Metrodome.
You think the Metrodome? What would be second place if you had to pick one, do you think?
Kansas City.
Kauffman Stadium?
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Not here. I never did anything in Detroit.
Tiger Stadium? You didn't hit the ball well there?
No, not really. I don't remember. All right. Well,
we'll get the answer after the pitch.
I take it there'll be no parting gifts on this.
Oh, no, you don't win anything. 2-0 on Garcia. So here's the answer. How about that? It's in Montreal.
There was only about 5 at bat. No, not too many. Fenway Park. The Dome. Okay, Metrodome. Metropolitan Stadium. Shea. And Cleveland. Wow.
Good for you.
God.
In the air, left-hand side. And a beautiful play by Goodrum somehow, some way.
Wow.
Boy, if Iglesias can't get there, you figure nobody's gonna, and Goodrum did. Time now for our Danley's defensive play. When you think of garages, think Danley's. How about this here, Wimpy?
This is tremendous. I didn't think he had. Well, the thing is, the shift had him in a better fielding position right there. So that way it worked. Iglesias wasn't probably, well, he wasn't going to get there. But Goodrum shows you what a great athlete he is.
That's an outstanding play.
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. Well, he did get a good jump on it, too, and he was way over. He was on the left side of the infield to start, just a little bit anyway. Plays hard.
Up and in. Jose 1 for 2, a double. He drove in 2 as he skewered a ball down the right field line. Scored a run in the first after a walk and struck out looking in the third. One and one.
Oh, yeah, that's a good swing right there.
Time now for the high-speed replay powered by Xfinity. You talk about good swings. This is one of them.
Oh, man. Inside out. Sox did a great job of hitting the ball the other way. You know, these guys are so strong nowadays that they shouldn't be so pull conscious because they can go opposite field, home run distance.
Best opposite field hitter you ever saw was who?
The guy hit the most line drives the other way was Julio Franco.
Oof.
They played him like a left-handed pull hitter too. I never saw a guy line out more than Julio.
Even deep into his career, late 40s, he was still hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, he just popped out at me when you asked that question. I can't think of. Let's see. There's a lot of great inside-out hitters.
I mean, Tommy opposite field power.
Oh, big time. Harold Baines could hit the ball long way to left field, but he pulled the ball on the ground. Harold would have been in a shift if he played today.
Wow. Called strike 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Farmer, who refutes the Sox in a hurry. Bottom 7 after this. After the Tigers got him for 3 runs in the first inning to rack up 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, nice job. He really had that fastball, curveball, changeup combination work for him. There's the hug. Next time you ought to get on a stepladder or something, Ricky.
Jace Fry is out of the bullpen. First guy called upon for the Sox, and he'll face the top of the order. Fry with a 4.58 ERA, but the opponent's average at 1.78. A bunch of his runs allowed have been inherited runners by other pitchers, and Jace, for the most part, has had a very strong first lengthy year in the majors.
I really like his arm. He's one of those guys that could be a big part of the future of the Sox. Look at that hook. That's nasty.
Yeah, that thing exploded to the corner. We were talking about it the other day. He's gone from cutter to slider because he's getting so much more depth on the pitch. Sometimes it does pop up still as a cutter, but for the most part, it's turned into a slider for him.
Well, that first pitch looked like a curveball to me. Well, if you can change the tilt of that slider, but you got to make sure it goes down even a little bit.
That is no fun to deal with if you're Kevin Smith.
No. How many times a year does that happen to a catcher, though?
Enough that you wouldn't want to take it up as a vocation. I don't think.
How about the ones they take in the face mask? The umpires too take a beating during the year.
He got a swing on a ball in the dirt from Candelario.
How did he make contact on that one? That ball obviously really moving. Sinking fastball at 94. That's good.
It's only about once a year you have to remind people that if the ball hits the ground and then is contacted by a batter, it's still in play.
I've seen guys get hits. Vic Davalillo used to do that. Jesus, oh no.
This one gets away and turns into a base. Candelario is on to lead off the 7th.
He let it go through the wickets. He had been doing such a great job. He just didn't close himself up like he had been all day long. Went through the shin guards. I would call that a pass ball myself.
Yeah, Kevin, you see by the expression on his face, he knows that he should have caught that ball. It is a wild pitch, but it's a tough wild pitch for Jace Fry.
Yeah. He was making, I think, the pitch he wanted.
And I don't know if you saw it different, but I don't think it hit the ground before it got to Kevin Smith.
Yeah. Or just as it got to him. That's nasty right there. 79 miles an hour coming off of 94. It's good relationship between fastball and breaking ball. Right there on the corner. Can't hit this.
Oh, in the dirt, and Kevin got in front of that one nicely.
That's a nice job. He spiked that one. And you don't know which direction that thing's going. Spinning. Yeah, he got in good position right there.
Well, if there was any confidence lost from Jace Fry to Kevin Smith, even for a moment, that'll get it right back.
Yeah. Well, he's going to do that a lot, so the catchers have got to be ready for that pitch. Wow.
He struck him out. Second time Iglesias has struck out in the game. And one out.
That was 86 miles an hour. I guess you'd call that one a little bit of a cutter, a backdoor cutter, looked like to me, because there wasn't a whole lot of movement sideways on it, but it fooled Iglesias.
Jose Iglesias came into this series. It was about every 10 times to the plate he strikes out. He's punched out twice in a row now. And here is Castellanos.
I like that one. I like that pitch. That backdoor breaking ball to right-handed hitters just freezes them. You give up on it. You think it's outside, and it's right at your kneecaps on the black of the outside corner. That looks like one of those Sparky Lyle. The great Sparky Lyle. He's the guy that taught Steve Carlton the slider.
Is that right?
Which he used to humiliate hitters for years. But Sparky threw a slider every pitch, and it looks kind of like the pitch that we're seeing now from Jace. That hard boom.
Really late movement.
Yeah.
1-1 to Castellanos. Candelario at first.
Yeah, Carlton was a fastball curveball pitcher, but he developed a slider when Sparking Lyle became a part of his life, I guess. There's a good pitch right there. But he had real depth with that slider, though. It went down. And his curveball became more of a show-me pitch. But he was so good he could throw both of them. Most guys can't.
Well, Castellanos is in the clouds right now. This is not a fun at bat for him.
No.
He'll have to wait for one more.
I tell you, I'd go that backdoor breaking ball right here.
Try and nip the corner.
He's got a good feel for it. He's thrown nothing but strikes out there. Okay, you got it. You got the sign.
I got it.
Good.
1-2.
What is it?
It's in the dirt.
I don't know how guys steal signs. I swear I don't. I never stole a sign in my life. I couldn't understand what they were doing. You know, they're doing all these actions, going to their head, the kneecap, boom, 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 their shins. I would probably get somebody killed at home plate.
I don't want you to be my code breaker.
No.
If any war breaks out.
Please don't.
I don't know what they're doing, he said.
There it is.
You never stole one sign in your life.
Nope. I can't remember it.
It's all patterns. How are you with Rubik's Cubes?
Real bad.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Worse than math. I hate Rubik's Cubes. Let's see, what do I like?
Yeah, you have a list. You can.
Baseball, apple
furnish.
pie.
Fireworks going off. You found something you liked, so now the fireworks are starting. 3-2, close pitch. There they are.
Yeah. What are we celebrating?
You finding something you liked.
Thank you. Looks like Hamtramck out there.
They have great fireworks displays in Hamtramck.
Every night.
He struck him out.
Wow.
Jace Fry, 3 strikeouts in the inning.
That's 10 for Sox pitchers tonight. This is their most dangerous hitter. Boy, there's some late movement on a slider. See, he didn't get any of those pitches to hit last night.
No.
He was getting some, and that's what good hitters do. And even good hitters aren't going to hit that thing. That is just filthy.
Two down, Nico Goodrum. I'm told by Jeff, our stage manager, that those are fireworks across the border in Canada.
Oh. Is it Boxer Day?
I think you mean Boxing Day.
Boxing Day, whatever.
They're celebrating Joe Louis. Boxer Day.
Could have been.
Two balls, no strikes on Goodrum.
I would love to see a 4th strikeout here.
You ever seen a 4th strikeout inning in person?
I don't think so.
2-1 on Goodrum. We were talking about this a couple months ago. Kelly Wunsch had a 5 strikeout inning in the minor leagues. Remember Sox reliever Kelly Wunsch?
Yeah, sure. Wow.
I think that was in the Midwest League, actually.
Well, that catcher must have looked like a Labrador Retriever in that inning, huh? Yes.
2-2 on Goodrum. Now you could really play for the record and drop strike 3.
Oh,
and let him face a 5th guy.
No.
You're not in?
No, I'm not in. I want to see that backdoor breaking ball again.
2-2 on Goodrum from Fry. He makes contact.
Wow.
Sanchez secures it and throws him out. Great play by Yolmer Sanchez at 2nd instead of 3rd tonight, and he keeps the lead at 6-3. Top of the 8th inning, Matt Davidson, Daniel Palka, Kevin Smith on the way up. They'll face Buck Farmer for his second inning. Tigers had to use 4 relievers last night on their long list of right-handers out there in the bullpen. They're allergic to lefties.
Go figure.
Got none.
Well, you're never going to see a contending team without left-handers.
Oh,
I can't just believe it.
It's hard to find any team. I mean, you've got to have one in the minor leagues somewhere, right?
Somebody's got it. I don't know.
1-1 to Davidson, who's become quite a right-handed pitcher for the Sox when he's gotten the chance.
Done a heck of a job.
3 scoreless innings. Right field, Castellanos runs out of room. Manage your dream team in franchise mode. Plus, get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. It's for you. It's for me.
And Ricky, too.
I figured you were a big video game guy.
Yeah. Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, that's as far as I have ever gone in videos.
You did branch out to Miss Pac-Man, though.
Oh, of course. When she became in vogue, I did. I don't know how you can do that, though. These kids do it all day long.
You walk around clubhouses in baseball. I just had the Brewers a couple weeks ago. It was Wade Miley. He was just sitting in the locker and just playing a video game with a little headset on.
Yeah.
Looked like you got 15 telemarketers in the clubhouse.
Right, and then, you know, those things only cost about 10 grand each to, play those things. I don't know.
Where do you shop for your video games? I think they might be inflating the price a little bit.
Yeah. No, that really isn't for me. I really would have to say that. How about yourself?
I used to. Yeah. Play a video game or two. 3-2 in the air, center field. Reyes. And Davidson now 1 for 4. Here's Daniel Palka, who's 2 for 3. Daniel is a really likable guy. Just kind of a guy, right? Like he is a practical joker, first of all. Maybe not as practical as some, but if you haven't heard the story, he at one point a couple of years ago was talking to some friends who were baseball players as well. It was in spring training, and he claimed that he had played in the McDonald's All-American game for basketball. He said that he was in the
Doesn't look like he did.
Well, yeah, that's where the story really gets odd because nobody really challenged him on it.
Yeah.
And while he was telling his teammates and friends the story, he went to Wikipedia on his phone and put his name in to the roster for the McDonald's All-American team that year. So he's telling this story. He says, yeah, you know, I scored however many points he scored. And his friends are like, no way. And he says, look it up when he's finally done putting it into the website. And nobody at all said, I don't think you're telling the truth. And nobody looked at the second website, you know, to check the actual roster on the McDonald's All-American game website. So Daniel Palka, who for weeks, he had told me the story in Kansas City in April. And he said, you know, don't tell anybody. Some of my teammates in Charlotte still think I did play on the team. They still think so. And then Teddy Greenstein, the writer, was talking to Daniel because he had looked it up. He was talking to Daniel about playing basketball, and they had a long conversation about it, and Teddy was walking away. And Daniel said, hey, you can't write that. And Teddy said, why? You know, what's wrong? Daniel said, because none of it's true.
Why let the truth get in the way of a good story?
That's exactly right. That's a 1-2-3 inning. We'll play bottom 8. Daniel Palka. Maybe that's his real name.
Maybe.
.com/White Sox to learn more. Member FDIC. Comerica Park, home of the Tigers. Long-standing franchise in the American League. Tigers and Sox, two of the anchors in the AL. And a rivalry you'd like to keep if there is realignment and expansion in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Victor Martinez first, then Aducey and McCann. As Jace Fry navigated through the 7th inning with 3 strikeouts, and he's on for a 2nd inning. Mentioned yesterday, the Tigers will be celebrating that 1968 World Series champion from 50 years ago, when the Cardinals are in town in September.
Right. That's great, because that's who they beat in 7 games.
Never miss a chance to rub it in 50 years later, right? You know,
right.
The Cardinals are coming. Let's go ahead and do them while they're here.
Heck yeah.
Maybe Bob Gibson can
drill
stop
somebody
on by.
Yeah, he didn't pitch very well in that series. I think he struck out 18 one game, didn't he?
That sounds right.
Mickey Lolich won 3 games in that series. Denny McLain won 31 and 4. And we said yesterday he started 41 games that year. A lot of complete games too.
Yeah, he beat Gibson in Game 7. Mickey
did?
Lolich.
Yeah.
Yep. 4-1. Tigers won 13-1 in Game 6. 5-3 in Game 5. That broke. It was like a 23-year drought without the postseason for the Tigers.
Of course, they came back in '84 to win the World Series.
Sparky Anderson.
Oh yeah.
What was Sparky like?
Great guy.
Yeah?
Oh, if you asked Sparky to do an interview, he'd do it immediately. Just go right with you, answer all the questions. One time I interviewed him, and we used it on every rain delay we had here. I mean, he was so good, too. You know, it's just amazing. What a great guy, too. He was just a tremendous. He was an icon here. Of course, he was in Cincinnati, too.
He was.
Great manager. Great guy.
Best manager you ever had was who?
Was Lasorda.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bobby Valentine too. I played for Bobby. He was my first roommate, but he also I played for him. I was 4 years older than him, and he was my manager at Texas. He just kept me on the team, you know.
What was a young Bobby Valentine like as a roommate?
Oh, great. He might have been as talented an athlete as there was during that time. There's a good pitch. He gone.
Yeah, Victor's not going to sprint on to first.
No. No, before Bobby broke his leg, he might have been the #1 prospect in the land. That's a good hammer right there. Fool a good hitter like that.
Jace Fry's dealing tonight.
Ooh, yeah.
4 strikeouts, inning and a third, just the 1 base runner on the wild pitch.
I will tell you a story about Lasorda. When we were in Cincinnati, and Tommy was a coach. Sparky was the manager, and we all went to Mass that morning. Yes, we did. And Sparky was there.
Jose for round number 2.
So after Mass, Sparky goes and lights a vigil light. Okay. Tommy waits till Sparky leaves, sneaks around, and blows out the candle. I saw him do it.
Got to get an advantage.
There you go.
Wow.
He didn't want any advantage to the Reds. They had enough with that team they had.
Cedeno and Vieira warming up in front of the hot rod cart. You'd take the bullpen cart out if you had the chance, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
Oh, sure.
Looks Looks like they're down a driver though. The guy was in there and ready yesterday.
Yeah, he was poised.
It was Jake Diekman when he got traded a couple weeks ago. He was in Arizona, and he gets dealt, and he just rode the cart to the other clubhouse.
That's nice. That was convenient.
Sox were one of the first teams with a bullpen cart. Some reports say first, but then others refute that.
Well, the Dodgers used to have one. That was in the 70s.
It's a nice paint job. Time for the Ram upcoming schedule. Ram trucks built to serve. Sox will be here for one more. Then the off day Thursday, back home for Kansas City. The Royals. A lot of AL Central coming up on the schedule. Sox do have home series left though with Boston and the Angels along with Cleveland. So some good players coming on through.
Yeah.
And first place teams.
You know, that Cleveland team is going to be a sleeper in the playoffs this year.
See, I'm with you.
I wouldn't be surprised if they won the whole thing.
Trevor Bauer could easily win the Cy Young.
And you got Kluber there, you know, also.
Carrasco's
filthy. And those two nasty guys on the left side of the infield, that, oh my God, Lindor. Ramirez, just, oh my goodness.
And there's nothing that says they can't make one more deal in the waiver period here to try to add something or other, whether it's in the bullpen or an extra bat. They can block everybody else with their waiver priority. Make sure Yankees, Red Sox, and Astros can't create a deal involving somebody.
Yeah. Well, they've got all the people. Well, you know, Houston too. They've lost so many good players so far this year that you know their pitching really hasn't you know, is so good that you shouldn't go into a slump even though you lost star players.
That's it. That's the trouble with picking an American League leader and horse in the race, because there are like 3 really good rotations that you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
You got the Astros and the Indians and the Red Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox. You know, and they're the best contact team in baseball too, so that gives them an advantage too. I think they are more apt. The team that I look at all the teams that are qualifying American and National to hit good pitching, and I mean solid 1 and 2 starters, it's going to be the Boston Red Sox.
So you're saying against the best, they're probably best equipped.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But don't overlook Cleveland.
As a city or a team?
As a team.
You can go ahead and overlook
like
it as a
Cleveland.
They got their championship from LeBron. Three balls, 2 strikes. Fry to McCann. Line to left field and caught. Ryan Lamar sliding in to make the grab. Top 9 coming up. Sox still lead 6-3. Tanner Roark, Illinois native as he is, went to U of I. A 1.21 ERA his last 4 starts, and with every good start, the beard grows a little bit. Our Toyota going places.
Do you like that look?
I think it gets a little unkempt.
A lot of guys, yeah.
Goodrum at second. He's got a new double play partner as Ronnie Rodriguez is in for Jose Iglesias. Got a thumb bruise. Hey, all season long when the White Sox drive home a run, Uber makes a donation to Chicago White Sox charities. Uber, the official ride-share provider of the Chicago White Sox and proud supporter of Chicago White Sox charities. Use Uber code GOSOX18 for $15 off your first Uber ride. Here is Ronnie Rodriguez, the aforementioned shortstop. Iglesias out. A thumb bruise. As Ryan Lamar takes a strike, and we certainly hope that he got that baseball off the home run he hit.
Ooh, that's a good call, yeah.
The authenticator is always ready for that. We saw during a homestand recently for the Sox that there was a first home run ball for one of the players for Kansas City, and the Royals bullpen bartered with the guy who caught the ball. They're passing around a baseball that they all signed as a trade with the guy to give up the baseball for the first home run. That's the guy who caught the ball, and we still don't know exactly if he has possession of that ball or not. It's kind of like when guys in spring training, they show up to a new team and somebody's got the number they like, and you have to make some sort of deal to get your jersey number. You ever do that?
No.
You just took whatever they gave you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why?
No.
Why? You could make a lot of money if somebody comes to you and wants your
Nobody
number.
wanted my number. You know, I went to spring training a few times. I was 72Z. Nobody wants that number.
You had a letter of the alphabet?
Yeah. Well, one year I came to spring training, I was just couldn't believe my eyes. I had number 53 from the Dodgers.
Wow.
Double D, Don Drysdale. One day later, I had number 17 in my locker. The clubhouse guy said, "You don't deserve this." I saw you play yesterday. Oh, okay.
So if you had a good day, you left it with you?
And the next time you go to Dodger Stadium, look in the press box. There's Walter Alston, a bunch of the guys are running behind his bicycle, and I have number 53 on the only day I wore that number. And it's in the Dodger press box.
Really?
The Vin Scully press box.
Second base, Goodrum throws out Lamar.
Oh, he can run.
Yeah, he was booking it.
Yeah. Very unusual. He throws left-handed, hits right.
Well, you don't win a daytime Emmy without being able to be athletic.
How about that hair? Perfect.
Yeah, look, if he showed up on somebody's soap opera for five shows, nobody blink an eye.
Oh. He looks like a magnet, yeah. All right, Adam. Get on that plate.
2 down for Engel. He tags this ball to left. Gerber. That's now 15 in a row retired by the Tiger bullpen, but the Sox lead by 3. 3, and Ricky Renteria is going to make a pitching change now. Mikey Matuk was going to hit for the left-handed Gerber. So since Matuk is coming in, Jace Fry will come out. He goes 2 successful innings, and we'll step aside so you can hear more from our lovely sponsors. .25 against him, and this would be his first save in 2018 after 9 of them to end last year.
Well, the only disturbing number you see is that 23 walks in 26 innings. You cannot afford to walk the leadoff hitter. You got to throw strike 1. Jace Fry was brilliant too. Boy, I'll tell you what, his ball was moving all over the place. I didn't remember a good swing taken off him.
No, I don't either. The good news, to your point about Manaya's control, is the Tigers walk less than any other major league team. So if they're going to help, Manaya will take it. And that's a strike at 95.
Well, you got to be taken here if you're the Tigers.
Make him throw 1, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, with Manaya's stuff, he doesn't have to make a perfect pitch every time. Like those sliders, that wasn't going to induce anybody to swing at. They started outside and went farther outside.
That's down 3-1 on Matuk. In a place where strange things have happened to the Sox, not only this year, but in years past, you don't want to give them the feeling of energy.
Oh, no.
And there's ball 4. Don Cooper feels like Phil Connors right now, and Ricky Renteria is out of the dugout, and he's going to go ahead and play the matchups here in the 9th. Manaya walks the only one he sees here on August the 14th, and as we await the new pitcher, which will and 2/3. This will be his second save opportunity. Ricky Renteria's bullpen at points, especially late in games, has become the tag team champions of the world. When you don't have a closer, Soria gets traded, you don't have a closer.
Right.
You kind of got to fish for one matchup by matchup, and that's the decision of the Sox skipper.
Right, and the only way they're going to get good at it is if they get exposed to the save situation.
Sox and Tigers this year, we told you how much the Sox have struggled against Detroit, 9-1 in the win column, but the 7th inning and later, and that includes the home opener. The Tigers were the team that spoiled that home opener against Nate Jones.
Wow. Big, that bullpen does not look good. No, this is the first time for everything. Here we go.
That was 4 months and 40 degrees ago.
Yeah.
9-7, the Tigers got the win, scoring 1 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, and 2 in the 10th during the home opener. Reyes the batter. Cedeno pumps in strike 1. Matuk at first. Tigers have Shane Green warming up just in case of a 10th inning. Cedeno 1-1. Now 1-2.
That's a tough pitch right there. And the lefty can bury that slider down and in for the right-handed hitter. Most of the time it's really a ball, but the tendency is to swing at that pitch. And if you hit it, it's generally off your ankle or your shin. Throw him another one.
1-2. Foul of third from Cedeno, who has 2 career saves. One of them came in 2012, his second year with the Astros. The other came 3 years ago with the Rays, part of a 61 event deal. 43 innings. He's been mostly a specialist for his career, but he can get righties out.
Didn't come back enough. That was a cutter action. Tried to backdoor him.
Sox got 3 in the first, so did the Tigers. 1 in the second for the Sox, 2 in the 5th. 2-2. Hit hard right at shortstop. Tim to first, not in time.
That was a rocket. Good Lord. Thank God Tim was standing right there. That would have brought the tying run to the plate. It's a little breaking ball, that same pitch, that slider, but he left it out over the plate, and he killed it, fortunately, right at the shortstop.
All right, now a double play, and we'll call
nice.
it a night. Candelario, a single in the first, a single in the second. Fielder's choice in the 5th, and a strikeout that he reached on a wild pitch in the 7th. Tigers have had the leadoff man on in 4 of the last 5 innings and haven't scored.
Well, you go back to that 6th inning when they didn't score with the bases loaded and nobody out. That's probably the key to this game so far if the Sox win.
Outstanding job by Giolito to get out of that.
And they're down to their last bullet. Check that. I thought
Candelario's only got one more.
You're already putting in my mind the double play possibility. I thought he already hit one. Never mind.
0-2 on Candelario. Matuk at first. In the air left field, that's slicing. And it will go down in history as nothing. But it's not nothing to him.
No, very important.
Keepsake forever. Now he wants another one.
That's great.
Oh.
How about that?
How nice is that? When adult catches one, when an adult catches a foul ball, you say give it to the kid. But when a kid catches it, gives it to a younger kid, that'll melt your heart.
Yeah. There he is. How great is that?
I'm not crying, you're crying.
Great moment.
1-2. Fouled off.
And then shakes his hand. Look at that.
When you sour on humanity, even for a moment, please think of that.
That was great. Really great.
One and two. He struck him out. 2 gone.
There's that hard cutter again. Going down and in. Well, you could call that one a slider, but that had great late movement. And Candelario comes over the top of it.
So it's up to Ronnie Rodriguez, who came in as a defensive replacement for Iglesias. 30th game for Rodriguez. Cedeno earns a swing and a miss, and you forgot something.
I'll tell you what, here's a guy hitting 170. He's got a lot of moving parts. This is tough to hit coming off the bench with this hitting style.
There's a lot going on there.
Oh yeah. Now throwing a leg kick.
Looks like Jose Martinez from the Cardinals.
Yeah. A lot like it, but it's amazing how that guy hits as well as he does. Son of former White Sox infielder, outfielder.
Yeah,
Carlos.
Cafe.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 on Rodriguez, and Castellanos is waiting to be the tying run in this game. Sure, he has a lovely place that he lives here in Detroit, and he would certainly enjoy an opportunity to go to sleep in wherever his bed is a little earlier than expected. Let's afford him that chance.
And the Tigers down to their last bullet.
It's downstairs, 1-2. Yes,
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, Matuk to second base as Cedeno tries to salt away the save.
Yeah, this is the guy you want right here.
You just got your first career save, Wimpy.
Thank you.
1-2. Castellanos on deck. 2 out. Downstairs, he laid off.
You do not want to go 3-2 to this guy. Take him right here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Everything downstairs in the sequence. Time called. Very busy, active Ronnie Rodriguez. Cedeno stoic. Matuk may not matter. 2-2. Line to left field. Lamar can't get there. It's down in front of him. They'll stop Matuk at third, and Castellanos is the tying run with an opportunity and some pain in his back.
It wasn't hit hard. It was a pretty good looking pitch. Rodriguez goes down and gets this. See right there, he uses his legs very nicely there. Good swing. And Ryan Lamar just cannot get there.
He didn't want to sell out on the dive for fear he might give up some extra bases.
That's true. Well, yeah.
But, right, whether or not that was the right decision with the tying run still not at the plate, don't know.
Well, we're going to see this lefty versus righty.
Castellanos 5 for 5 last night, 0 for 4 tonight.
Sox have made great pitches on this guy this evening.
2 strikeouts, 2 ground balls. He was going for Windsor.
Oh boy. Pitch is right there too. Looks like he kind of pulled off this one a little bit. Look at the location right there. That's right down Broadway. Or Woodward.
Shift is on to the pull side and up the middle. Castellanos takes a ball. Nico Goodrum would be next. Manaea started the inning. He walked Matuk, then came out. Cedeno got a line out from Reyes, struck out Candelario. Then Rodriguez touched him for a single. 1-1. Hit hard but foul on the ground. 1-2.
All right, now I got to bounce a few up here now. I don't want Castellanos still to beat me, and you know, let him try and get himself out, and then you still have second base open. He's their most dangerous guy, the most likely to be a hero in this situation.
Don't feed him at all costs.
Right.
1-2. He also can't tie the game on the ground.
Right. That was a good. He tied him up right there. That pitch looked like it was in off the plate, but Castellanos is going to protect. He's going to look for that pitch outside, I would think. Fastball away and then adjust anything inside.
Ball and 2 strikes. Cedeno misses 2-2.
Well, he's gone in there 2 straight times inside. Maybe a backdoor slider this time.
Crowd has some juice now. Two and 2.
Yes, he
Called
did.
strike 3. Cedeno aces Castellanos. And the Sox withstand an early surge from the Tigers to take game 2.
Wow.
Time for the IDOT Safe Play, reminding you that safe driving habits really are a matter of life or death. Visit lifeordeathillinois.com. There it is, Wimpy.
Well, we wanted him down and away. He backdoored him with the breaking ball. He probably just caught a thread of the baseball on the corner, and we will take that one.